in the upper Midwest. You'll see the muggy 70s overnight.
The history of human exploration took place this week, nearly 3 billion miles away.
The Voyager 2 space probe, cameras and transmitters still working after all these years, sent back fascinating, revealing data from the mysterious planet Neptune and its spectacular moon Triton.
It took 4 hours for Voyager's signals, traveling at 186,000 miles a second, to reach Earth. But when they arrived, they sent normally calm scientists into ecstasy.
Describe the mood here as you see it in the Voyager imaging room and in general.
Complete pandemonium, euphoria would be understating the situation. It is, I mean, people are just absolutely ecstatic. Here's a spacecraft that after 12 years is probably going to return one of the most fantastic encounters of its lifetime.
Voyager's epic journey to the outer edges of the solar system reached its grand climax at Neptune, a gaseous blue giant nearly 3 billion miles from the sun and close-in planets like the Earth. Pictures like these are transmitted by converting data into numbers on the spacecraft, then converting the numbers back into data in scientific labs on Earth. The results can be spectacularly detailed. That dark area on Neptune is a storm system big enough to cover the entire Earth, a storm that may rage literally for centuries without let up. Voyager has discovered unknown moons around Uranus and Neptune and has a close encounter with beautiful but oddball Triton, the only satellite in the solar system known to orbit backwards against the spin of the planet. Scientists are also interested in the rings Voyager discovered circling Neptune, a planet about 8 times bigger than Earth. Those rings could be the debris left after massive celestial collisions among Neptune's moons. Data from 3 billion miles away help scientists fill in bit by bit their picture of the development and makeup of the universe.
They're wonderful. I mean, they're very exciting to see these things for the very first time.
Amazingly, Voyager relays all this information and much more back to Earth with a 20-watt transmitter, about the same power used by the little light in your refrigerator. 2 Voyager missions cost $865 million since the project began 17 years ago. Chicken feed for major space budgets. Reporters from around the world covered the Neptune flyby and the close encounter with Triton.
This great mission will show us its real face. It's very fascinating and romantic.
It's such beautiful, wonderful event. After 12 years, we have so precise information.
People are very interested indeed, and I think the interest is growing as more and more discoveries come to light.
Neptune is the only planet that was discovered not with a telescope like other planets, but by sheer brain power. Nearly 150 years ago, an English astronomer and a French mathematician decided there must be an unknown planet beyond Uranus, affecting its orbit around the sun. They predicted mathematically where the unknown planet could be found, and sure enough, a German astronomer found it exactly where predicted a year later. Now Voyager has put the instruments of science within a mere 3,000 miles of Neptune, and reporters shared the excitement at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory where the Voyager project was born.
We've just never had a look at it before, and it's like being explorers, what the scientists are doing here.
It has a significance second only to maybe the Apollo moon landings in terms of the scope and vision of the project.
People are going to be looking at these pictures for 1,000 years and talking about what we're seeing today for the first time. We're in on history here.
Launched on this August week in 1977, Voyager passed Jupiter in 1979, Saturn in 81, and Uranus in 1986. Instead of going on to Pluto, the outermost planet, Voyager now heads for stars and galaxies far beyond our solar system. Don't wait up for any final report. Scientists have its course mapped out for the next 1,000,000 years, but Voyager won't be sending back postcards from that far away. Meanwhile, back on Earth, NASA is gearing up for the next planetary trip. The Galileo mission, to be launched in October from the Space Shuttle Atlantis, will explore Venus and Jupiter.
This is nothing less than the dawn of a new era in human space exploration, and robotic precursors will continue to lead the way and participate fully in our human expansion outward into the solar system.
Human expansion has already reached the moon. Can the planets and galaxies be impossible dreams? For the Week in Review, I'm Chuck Roberts.